In 1988, Touchstone Pictures, a subsidiary of Walt Disney Studios, produced a unique spin on traditional cartoons. After several years of searching for a script, a director, and distribution, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was finally realized. Originally based off the book Who Censored Roger Rabbit by author Gary K. Wolfe. Who Framed Roger Rabbit would end up being a triumphant film, winning several awards and accolades for the acting, voiceover work, storytelling, and being notable as the first time Bill Farmer would ever voice Goofy. Besides being a box office smash, it was also very well received among fans, but due to the more graphic content, Roy Disney felt it would be better released under the Touchstone label, as well as not wanting to tarnish the reputation of Disney as making a more adult-oriented cartoon. Disney would later claim ownership and even embrace Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There were theme park appearances, a home video release, a single ride, and then nothing. Roger Rabbit disappeared as quickly as he came. So that leaves me asking the question, who forgot about Roger Rabbit? As a child of the 90s, we had some great movies. Little Mermaid, Aladdin, the Goofy movie, but none stood out like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was unlike anything I had ever seen. It also introduced me to my first love, Jessica Rabbit, voiced by the always talented Kathleen Turner. I know I'm not the only one there either. In fact, an entire generation of kids were introduced to live action and cartoons on screen at the same time because of this film. It is truly a beloved film. So I ask, what happened? Roger Rabbit in the parks was moderately popular for a few years, roughly from 1988 until 1992. The largest, most noticeable feature to spawn from Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a large Jessica Rabbit that sat proudly over a shop over in Pleasure Island, which is now just part of Disney Springs. But he, or the franchise, never made it that big. The CEO at the time was Eisner, which, love him or hate him, he made a push for an older image of Disney. It was subtle and seldom worked, and I feel that is where Roger Rabbit's demise truly lies. It isn't an adult movie by any means. It has innuendos in it, like most modern child films. Think Shrek. In the early 90s, we wanted stuff like The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, more truly child stuff. Disney parks were never exclusively for small children, so why wouldn't an older kid area or older kid theming work out? Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes I just like an innocent movie for the sake of enjoyment. But I am an adult now, and just like when I'm at the parks, I like the bigger rides. But that therein lies the solution to the Roger Rabbit conundrum. The movie came out at the right time, but not with the right support. Eisner was known for being combative and getting his way and trying to move Disney in his direction, which, as a CEO, I guess is half the job. The other half is making the board members happy. It also didn't help that in more recent years, Gary Wolfe sued Disney, wanting millions in unpaid royalties, which didn't help anything. After some back and forth, Disney actually discovered that he owed them money, and they ended up settling for somewhere between $180,000 and $400,000. A sequel was discussed several times throughout the years, but never really came to fruition. There was a lot of bad blood going back and forth and a lot of awful things being said, but now it's being brought up again, and it's due to the rise of Disney+. Bob Iger had mentioned how Who Framed Roger Rabbit would have a great platform on Disney+, and even discussed wanting to do something with him in the future. So maybe we have some hope there. But that leads us to today. In all honesty, Roger Rabbit is as popular as ever. To tie in the fact that I'm an adult now, just like personal taste, Who Framed Roger Rabbit had to age and ripen. Society is a lot different than it was nearly 30 years ago, and man, do I feel old saying that. My generation are becoming parents, and we are introducing our children to what we love. Nostalgia is a selling point now, and that's okay. Iger was receptive of this and started to bring back Roger to the parks. And now that Chapek is CEO and coming from overseeing the parks, he's done quite a bit more to revitalize the parks as well as sprinkle a little nostalgia in, which is never a bad thing. Will we ever see Disney fully realize Roger Rabbit? Maybe. But now is shaping up to be the best time to do it. My generation have such fond memories of the 90s, and I'll even do a full 90s episode if the content allows. I love Roger and all the zaniness that comes with it. I make it a point to use the bathroom in Toontown because there's a Jessica Rabbit dressed as a mechanic on the door to differentiate the bathrooms. I pick up every pin, mug, statue, anything related to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I get it. It isn't everyone's bag, and that's okay. But think of that one thing that you would love to see in the parks. Whether it's your favorite character, a food, a show, or anything, we will always long for nostalgia, and that's okay. Share it with people. Show the world why you care so much about that one thing you love. As for me, I'll keep laughing at the silly jokes, be awestruck by how the film was actually made, and feel my heart flutter every time I see Jessica Rabbit cross the screen. Hey guys, so I know it was not a super long one today, but this is something that I had really wanted to do. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, of course, is one of my favorite movies, so I just wanted to do this and kind of spotlight him for a moment. So if you have your own opinion or you just want to share some memories you have, head on over to the Facebook. I have a Twitter, Instagram, the whole nine. So thank you guys very much for joining me this week. I put up new episodes every Friday. They're always available by at least 6 a.m. And don't forget, you can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email at armchairimagineerpodcast@gmail.com. All the links are on Facebook, so if you can't remember them, don't worry. They're just over there. Facebook.com/armchairimagineer. And thank you again for joining me. And like always, have a magical day.